Hey everyone. Hello, how are you? This is your average Jen. I just felt like dressing a little bit differently today, and let's see how this works without the microphone plugged in so that I can wear a hat. I like my hats, what can I say? All right, today is podcast news, and I forgot what the news was, so let's dive into that. Let's see if I can find it. Share screen. And there it is. So this was back in September of 2023. I'm sure that it was a milestone for the podcast. But let's find out together, shall we?
Fellow average humans, hello. I wanted to share some exciting podcast news. Well, it's exciting for me. I'm going to be making some changes to this podcast as I have more and more ideas. The show is starting to form a personality, much like my own scattered thoughts. I've been going in several different directions, and I like that. It adds show variety. I'm going to go back and rename some of the episodes so they follow a particular storyline. I feel like if I stay on the same topic for too long, I'm liable to lose touch with reality, which is why I'm jumping around. Much like a person living in their own little bubble that doesn't know that views other than their own are also valid. Unfortunately, this means that the show titles will become boring, but trust me, the content will be anything but that. I'm going to have my Bible thing going on where I'll continue to look close at the Bible and remove the riddles as best I can. I don't know if that's the right way to explain it or not. I've been quoting the Bible and looking at the stories and relating that in modern, somewhat science fiction ways. I'm exposing God as a human that has human emotions. I believe this person of the Bible did create us, but they also had a creator, and God might have been the name for that creator. I'm only in Genesis, but it's a fascinating story when looking at it from a modern point of view. I'm not trying to ruin religion for those that fully believe everything they are told. I'm simply providing another perspective. I think I'm not alone in my thinking either, which is super exciting. There is so much hidden information in the Bible, and now that I'm looking at it of my own free will, I'm way more interested. Much like any learning thing, when a person chooses to learn, it's exciting, but when it's forced, nobody cares, nobody pays attention. Anyway, that's my experience. So the next storyline is going to be based around 12-step recovery. And I've been using Alcoholics Anonymous as the main example because it's the granddaddy of all other 12-step programs, but I'll also throw in aspects of other 12-step programs too. I really am not an expert in any of these topics, but I feel the need to write. Ugh. I feel the need to try to reach other humans by providing many types of examples. I'm trying to prove that human nature is the real enemy, not each other. We are our own enemy. I want to break through the barrier that keeps people divided. I see that nothing has changed since the creation of mankind. The 12 steps, as I have come to understand them, are a series of questions and tasks which are designed to assist anyone that is willing to tackle their hidden monsters. Perhaps it is a way to find a new perspective where real tolerance of one another might be achieved. The only way to achieve balance is to come to believe in a power greater than ourselves. This is why I'm going through the Bible too. Many people shut down at the mention of God and are turning their back on a real opportunity. If we can get past our stigma of what being an ethical human is, we can move forward. Being ethical does not remove fun from our lives. 12 Steps is also not the only recovery that is out there. I think that since it was written by a bunch of smart addicts, it is worthy of being looked at, though. I'd like to hear other stories that led to your personal epiphany and how you maintain that new life outlook. I also want to bring hope to anyone that is not content with their lives. This includes celebrities, politicians, and anyone who is at the top of the ladder right now. We are all the same, regardless of social status. After all, we all need to poop. We all need to wipe our butts somehow. There is no escape from human biology. Not all humans are equal, but that shouldn't be a cause to hate each other. Genetics plays a huge role in society, and that is something we haven't mastered yet. There will always be fat people, thin people, disabled people, insane people, addicts, politicians, and children. Children grow up and become us. We are teaching our kids all the wrong things right now. And we have treated humans as pawns for long enough. It's time to wake up and hold ourselves accountable for the crappy things we do to ourselves and each other. I really enjoy music, and there will be a music episode category too. I want to highlight a song or artist and talk about the ways in which these people are trying to carry the same message as me. There are so many things that can influence a better way of living. The problem is that nobody is willing to make that change. Eventually, enough people will hear this podcast, and maybe one of the sub storylines might speak to that person. Even if you might not agree with me, I'm still going to share my experience, strength, and hope. I do mention other podcasts quite a bit too, and I will continue to do that. I think that it is good to get another perspective. Maybe one day I'll be able to have these other people as a guest on my show instead of just snagging parts of their shows and replaying it. The other podcasts I listen to don't need any help promoting, but I believe the message they all share is important, which is why I do promote them. I'm going to be interviewing other people so they can share their stories of experience, strengths, and hope. It is a place where we can come together and maybe start the type of revolution that is needed, or at least we'll get people talking. I hope to keep my listeners engaged with the content of the show and hope to form some positive communication. I'm making all this up as I go. I never know when inspiration is going to hit me, so I decided to jump on this before I lose the thought thread. Now that I've mentioned all of it, it keeps me determined to do my best to bring humans together on a level beyond human thinking. I have some things in the works right now, and I hope to keep putting out new episodes while I figure this whole thing out. I have very limited time, so shows might appear a bunch at a time or maybe one at a time. I have a full time job and a life to live. This show is just filler for when I have time to work on it. So thank you for your support and taking time out of your day to listen to me ramble on and on and on. It's not hard to listen to a podcast. I do it while driving or while I'm walking or when I feel like I need a little mental boost. So don't forget to like and share the podcast so others might hear something that could potentially save their lives. In closing, I would like to say that the opinions expressed here were strictly of my own making, or by my guests. Take what you like and leave the rest. You may come to realize that you may not like me or what I want to share. Let's talk to each other, reason things out, but let there be no gossip or criticism of one another. Instead, let the fellowship of ethical human behavior and the serenity from positive human interaction help you grow and chill out, one experience at a time. I would like to thank my higher power for guiding me through this podcast. I hope to spread the message of love, hope, and understanding by touching one life at a time. If you like this podcast, please like and share it. Comments also help other struggling people find it. I am now listener supported, and if you would like to contribute, please feel free. There is no obligation. If you would like to share feedback, you can email me at averagehumanbeing1875@gmail.com. There is also a link you can click if you'd like to send a voice message and add to the content of the show.
Okay. So there is that. Makes it sound pretty exciting, doesn't it? In case you weren't already excited about the podcast. And yeah, I do agree the titles, they're a bit boring. But the content, some of it might not speak to you, some of it might. I think that I've created something pretty decent here, and it'll keep growing as I continue to learn more, kind of like with this whole YouTube thing. it'll keep developing as I learn how to do more stuff and as I become more comfortable. And if I ever get over this stupid cold, maybe I can have a little more fun with it. All right. Bye-bye. I'll see you next time for the next Bible journey. Bye-bye.